Okay, I do believe so. And in case you have some kind of questions, you can ask me in term or during my sharings. Good mornings, all of audience. Thank you very much that you like to spare your weekend to having a chat with us for today. Today we are going to share in terms of writings for research presentations. First of all, I would like to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Nataya Laolit. I'm working at the School of Cosmetic Science, and it's turned to be two functions that I'm working like a program committees for creative innovation in cosmetic science graduate programs. And in terms of research work, I have been work under phytocosmetics and cosmeceuticals research group. Today, what we are going to learn, it will be all about the objective that all of you guys, all of the audience. I would love it if it is possible after that you have been attend these sharings, you will be able to construct the scientific writings for research publications, right? And my content for today's will be start from of course, yes, aligned with the introductions in terms of how come it's turned to be important that you're gonna have to publish your work. And before publishing your work, research topics turn to be far more important. And how could you craft or ideate or innovate your research topics? Of course, yes, it will be those of data searchings. And what about the type of scientific articles? And during the time after you have been done all of your research work, of course, yes, you're gonna make publications in terms of article preparations. And later on, what shall be also about those of publication processes, right? Okay, oh, I will share with the some of activities for you guys. Hold on a second. Eh? I'm not quite sure. Have you seen my snow? Not no, right? And going back. I have set some of sorry, I cannot share my slide again. Participant. Staff, I cannot share my slide from my device. Wow. What should I do?
การส่งมาในแชทดีไหมคะเดี๋ยวหนูเปิดให้ค่ะ
อ๋อโอเคสักครู่นะคะแต่ว่าทำไมเมื่อกี้มันยังแชร์ได้อยู่แต่ตอนนี้มันขึ้น sorry in Thai at first มันขึ้นหน้าที่ให้แชร์ก็คือว่ามันถามว่าจะให้ใครแชร์เนี่ยค่ะปกติเราก็สามารถแชร์ได้เลยเนาะ
ใช่ค่ะอาจารย์
แต่ตอนนี้มันขึ้นว่าถามอาจารย์อยู่นั่นว่าให้โฮสต์แชร์หรือเปล่าหรือว่า all participant เอ๊อาจารย์ต้องการแชร์สไลด์ค่ะแต่ว่ามันขึ้นที่เป็นถามว่าให้ใครแชร์
อา จารย์ลองกด all ก่อนดีไหมคะ
สักครู่นะคะ แชร์ ใช่ค่ะ กด all แล้วก็มันก็จะยังค้างอยู่ตรงหน้าคำถาม พอกดคำว่า share screen โอเคค่ะ น่าจะเห็นแล้วเนาะ
มาแล้วค่ะ
โอเคค่ะ sorry. I'm also share the link via the chat box as well as share the QR code over here. In case one that would love people to click in the link, you can click from the chat box, and one who prefer the QR code, you can screen or share for this one. Okay, I'm just asking, what school you are enrolling in? Because I would love to know in term of field that you are going to work with. Go industrial. Oh, Burapha University. Oh, biomaterials. RMUTI. Go industrial. Liberal art. Oh, from Rangsit University. Well, it sounds like we have several fields enjoyed us today. And anti-aging, wow, excellent. MFU integrative medicine, wow, we have a varieties of field for today. So I will be happy during the I'm going to say that sharing. You can ask me, and for Thai is also welcome to share in Thai. All right, we have a lot of we have a lot of school for today. โชว์ okay. Hmm. And I have a little bit problem with sharing. Sorry about this. And okay, for the handout, I will discuss with the staff who working at administrative again. In terms of scientific and research papers, it happened to be one sort of the things that we use to present our research result. In general, we will have a different kind of research presentations. Like, of course, yes, you may start from a poster or oral presentations. In case of oral and poster presentations, we may work or share our research result either in international conferences or national conferences. poster will be the, I mean, it sounds like a starter that we try to practice our presentations. You need to prepare some kind of information in the layout that the committee have been assigned for you, as well as the oral presentations, right? But in terms of poster, the sharings of your research result will be like for a small group. If the audience would like to ask you, they can approach you directly. You can answer or share the idea of your research result or present your scientific result like a two-way for your audience, right? But in case of oral presentations, it's like you need to stand on the podiums, present your work in the time that you have been scoped from the organizer. And later on, you need to make a discussions in like a public mode. So sometime for a novice one, poster presentations will be the best way to make you familiar with the atmosphere of scientific committees or communities. However, finally, what we want turn to be a papers or a journal publications like we have been far more familiar with, right? In terms of research presentations, it means that you have been done all of your research work, and you may select a different format or a different pattern that you would like to share your research work. It means that you need to conduct or undertaken your research work, consume some time onto that, and you need to run it with the ideals and sound research, right? We we may want to share our scientific or research presentations. Of course, yes, supposed to be in scientific communications. We do it because we need to honor the trust. We want something like a professional standard in our field. The professional standard in our field refer to research reputations, right? So it turned out these four reasons why we need to present our scientific work or research work. In terms of research presentations, it's turned to be like an endpoint. Again, without a work, you cannot present your work, right? A bottom line turned to be number 4 item here calling research presentations. But we need to work backward. Without research work, you cannot present your work, right? And what about themes or the contents or the workflow of your research work? We must scope our work at first. We call like a research proposals. And most of the because we have been the conduct a sharings today that hosted by the Office of Postgraduate Study. So I do believe that most of our audience turn to be ones who are graduate students and also some of researchers in the different faculty, different school, different university and institution as well. For students, you need to craft your research proposal and defend your research proposal. But for the researcher, of course, yes, you need to make your research proposal for your financial support approval. Or we start or craft or draft our research proposal. What about your research topic? So now on, I'm going to start from number 1 up until number 4 that without research topic you cannot craft research proposal and it will not proper guide you to do your research work. Without a good research work, we cannot present our research result, right? Okay, let's see here. In terms of your research topic, how could you craft it? I mean, how could you innovate it? How could you make it happen in terms of your research topic? Research topics sometimes is come together with data searchings. Of course, yes, you may run up at first about your ignite of idea. What about the rationale? What about the problem? What about the background that you want to craft or to do a research in that topics? You may arise with some problems. I mean, a research problem. You may arise with some of obstacles or some problems that you would like to dissolve or that you would like to fix this up. Sometimes we call like a background rationales. And if your questions in terms of your ignite of idea, if somebody has clarified it yet, or if somebody have been do it already, you do something we call data searchings to find out if any some point or some kind of weakness or some kind of unresolved problem that you may add on into your background and rationales to create your research topic. You do a hard work in terms of the data searchings. That's why I make it a big alphabet here, a bigger size of alphabet. We can do it switchings. Oh, you have arrived with some of idea or concept papers, and then you do a data searchings and fix up your background rationales. And you may see some point that still not significant or not pretty much strengthened your research topic. You can do a data searching again and revise your concept idea, or sometimes we call like a concept, right? And then you can create your topic. Define it first. Define it first. What kind of problem that you would like to solve? Or what kind of weakness in some of the research work that you have been read and it turned out you ask some questions and then you craft your topic of your interest. And after along the time that you have been doing those of data searching, you may refine your topics, a topic of your research work. Sometimes we do them together, go back and forth to make it far more a good one, a topic that turn to be far more habits for yourself and of course yes for your supervisor or advisor. However, what about the source of information that you can find for data searchings? In terms of data searchings, sometimes we call like a literature review. You review the literature, right? It means that you gather all of the literature ready for your review, but without the process to gather all of that literature. Um, you need to do a data searchings, right? Supposed to be the sources for your data searchings. Sometimes we can make like read a textbooks, a lot of textbooks that you may read, and you know that to publish one book is take quite a lot of time, a long time to run. Sometimes those of idea, those of technologies turn to be a little bit I don't say this is old technology, but you can receive those of fundamentals, theories from the textbooks. However, if you want something far more updated, of course, yes, you can find more information from review articles. Right. Review articles, it work like versions of textbook. Right. Focus on one issue or one topic
that will overlap with your interest. And in case you want it far more in terms of advancement, far more up to date, you can find more information from research articles. Right. So you can see that in general, in terms of journal publications, you can receive or make a data searchings from your database to read, to study, including research articles, right? And okay, you know that you want to read some kind of textbook, you have to review those of research articles, including those of review articles, but where can you find it? There are a lot of databases here suitable for a different field. So you better at first which database supposed to be those of an accredited one for your field. Start with the screening of that database and that database. Database somehow is like a publisher. There will be different varieties of journal titles in that database by that publishers. You specify which one, select the ones that fit with your field or recommended for your field and start searching the data. Right. Oh, let's see. One more sharings for the millimeters. Two. Okay, would you please share this QR code? Asking, please rank your family and database. From this QR code. Oh, Google Scholar turned to be the first one now, followed by Scopus, and the third one turned to be Cyberlake, fourth one Springers, and Willy Bexwell. Wow, it sounds like you guys know and familiar with your field already. You can start with Google Scholar or Cyberlake or Scopus, Springer, and Willy Bexwell. Let's see what we can see a differences from a difference of fields from the millimeters that we have been just start with. Actually, from the activity that we have been done, Cyberlake, you can search for all of topics. Somehow you can search from Scopus, Springer, Willy, and one more Taylor and Francis, or Google Scholar. Google Scholar, you can search either relations and those MFU student or MFU staff. Of course, yes, MFU libraries will be one of the sources that you can search for that. And I do that in the futures, Office of the Postgraduate will be also share some topic in terms of MFU live researching as well, right? Okay. And once you have been screened, we should accredit with database supposed to fit with your field. The idea that you have been crafted, you can input it with a time. I mean, how long of a time that you need to work in terms of data searching. Like, oh, my supervisor has been asked me to craft those of a concept paper to submit my supervisor by day, for example. I just have like an hours or 2 hours, so I need to make it rush in terms of data searching. If you have a lot or plenty of, you can include several or different of a database, right? The point that you can search from a several database mean you can receive almost of all dimensions that the researchers all around the world that has been worked align with the interesting topic that you are going to handle from now on. The accredited database keyword will help. What kind of keyword that you gonna fit with your interesting of idea? Like for me, I working in the School of Cosmetic Science. I may use just a cosmetics as a keyword. And if I just use a cosmetics as keyword, oh, shall I have plenty of informations? And if I have enough of time to read it up, so I need to shape up in terms of an idea. Shape them up in terms of a main concept. For example, I work in the cosmetics, but I happen to interesting into nanoparticles for cosmetics, for example. Nanoparticles turn to be the main concept that I would like to search for. In terms of nanoparticle, what shall be a related term for nanoparticles? If I want to examine in terms of particle size, for example, I need to craft the wording that a particle size to be one of a search item. Or I want to work with the characterizations of those of nanoparticles. Characterization tend to be one word. But once we work far more deep in details, characterizations, we can use variety of instrument. So then, better ignite with your idea what time you have to do this work. To do this work, I mean to do data searchings. And what's supposed to be the keyword? Sorry, I need to check with the change slide. Sorry. What shall be the main concept? And what shall be the related term that you need to input for your craft of searching, right? Okay, like an examples that I just told you. I'm working in cosmetics. If I use the word searching just cosmetics, I search from Psydelic. What I have from the information that I have been searched from the 6th of May. Oh, I get a result almost 300,000 result. I don't have just a lot of time to read them all. Let's change if I use different of database like a Scopus, one word, cosmetics. Wow, more than 100,000 documents that has been found. Let's see if I search in a different database that is Spingers. Oh, what I have here, you can see that different of information that I can retrieve from Spingers, like audios, like 40,000 research articles. Over here, it's turned out to be a lot of information. Or I work with Willie Maxwell or Willie Online. It's turned to be almost 3 million results from here. What next if, sorry, so go back into the themes over here. After you have been crafted your idea, what time you have to work onto a data searching, and you can craft the keyword, shape up with your main concept of idea, and what shall be the related term that you can work with. And later on, you can find adequate amount. I mean, you can search and receive adequate amount of your output after you have been working with your research, right? I'm going to skip from here. However, because there are a lot of journals, although you have been specified into your field, if I just use a cosmetic side, it will be some numbers of journal titles. But for me, I may focus some of the journals that specify with the societies. What society it is, in my field, is turned to be Society of Cosmetic Science. I may head on to Journal of Cosmetic Science because of what? This journal has been established more than 75 years, followed by International Journal of Cosmetic Science. Oh, this turned to be a young one because it's just been established like 46 years. In terms of Journal of Cosmetic Science, it in the societies of USA Society. But for International Journal of Cosmetic Science, it turned to be sponsored by French Society of Cosmetic Science. However, if only the journals in the societies, if it's enough, now the university may want something that, what about the quartile ranking of your publications? I can tell you that International Journal of Cosmetic Science, it used to be in the quartile 1 in our field. Now it's happened to be in the quartile 2. And in terms of Journal of Cosmetic Science, although it has been a long run, but it happened to be in the like a quartile 3 or 4. If you standardize or grade them, I mean, if you grade the journals onto the quartiles or impact factors, it might not be pretty much hit with the university expectations. The university may want something, wow, quartile 1 or quartile 2 or high impact factors than 3, for example, or more than 5 or 10, etc. However, once you have been worked in the field, you know the field you are. So you might have seen some kind of the cornerstone of the journals that you can accredit, that you can rely on. Journal of Cosmetic Science, well, is so one, but how come it's turned to be not in a good ranking? Because it used to make everything into a hard copies. You need to submit in a hard copies, and later on all of your publications will be in the hard copy versions. So in the storm of Internet of Things, it's turned to be left behind in terms of rankings, if you say ranking. But in terms of credit, it still be in accredit. So you need to adjust, neutralize yourself. Which one you would like to pursue or to find on? Journal of Cosmetics site just relocate themselves into the online versions like this one that I have been show you over here. But their online versions still come from the publisher side, not in the publishers like a Willy that you can use just like a one publishers and you can find more and more. Right. So I just show you some example from the cosmetic side field. However, you can check back with your own self which journal, which database that you can make it like your cornerstone. But Ajahn, nowadays we have a lot of journals. Can we trust it? Can we can it can we believe this is okay or accredited? You can use some kind of a tools like SJR tool or Simago to help you if that new titles of journals uh, can it be the one that you can rely on or not. For example, I use one titles of the new titles of cosmetics named Journal of Cosmetic Dermatological Science and Applications. I searched from Cymagos or SJR website. Oh, if it turns out and represent with a result like this, you better exclude these journal titles from your data sourcing. And together with exclusions from your data sourcing, I also recommend in the future, if you want to publish your work, these journal titles may not be fit with you because you have been work very hard before you can publish your work. So selections of the precise journals will be far more held. Together with SJR, at the old time we have something calling a bell list, but now we don't have a bell list. So one more tools that I would recommend you guys after you have been craft your search, especially if you use Google Scholar. Google Scholar will gather everything for you. However, you need to handle with a filter. A filter you may make it by your own self. I mean manuals. You can what kind of journals or what kind of database if it's a credit one or not. You can watch or you can consult with this retection watch like this one. It will be a lot of list. And then you can exclude some of one that might not be a good one for you, right? Together with exclude those of sound problem one in terms of a credit, and then you can include those of a credit database, include those of a credit journals, and then you can retrieve those of data searching, craft your research or craft your search statement. Of course, yes, you can use the keyword and search with the accredited database that you have been filtered, that you have been checked earlier, and use those of keywords like an index of the field, right? In case, like what I have been shown you previously, like I just searched from the Willy Online. I have been received almost 3 millions of results, but I don't have that enough of time to read it. It happened to be like this one. It happened to be like, whoa, too many citations. Once it turned out to be too many citations, you better refine your searchings. You may use some kind like a word like cosmetic and nanoparticles, for example, and characterizations, right? And you can limit your search. The wordings, the index that you have been input for your search, if you want the machine to search in just a keyword or to search those of represent in abstract, or if it is present in titles or the whole context. And then you can minimize your search together with if that result or articles published in English. And you can also limit a time of your searchings, right? The scene will be changed. If you got some kind of too few of citations, if it's happened to be too few, it sounds like you have arise with the questions by your own self. If it's come with fully or full dimensions or multi directions from all of your information that you're supposed to use for your literature review, you may revise your searchings. Maybe you're gonna use like an alternative term instead of instead of use an word, you may use a word like or check your spelling if you input a type, not a typo one. And if you search for a purpose of database, maybe that database or that field, that publishers might not be in the scope of your interesting field. Or maybe sometime you search just unlimited of a year gap. So you may extend the year of your search. The worst things might be happened. If it's happened to be, oh my god, no citations. If it's for real, no citations. If it's possible that I turn to be interesting in some of a research work that nobody in the world have been working on it. I don't believe so. Maybe something wrong because a populations in the world seem to be as tremendous as well as researchers in our field. It cannot be happens. Yeah, you want to do some kind of research work. It's supposed to be something different and something better, like a model of MFU. But if you craft the search and you search the database, it's turned out that no citations. Something might be wrong. At first one, you better check your spelling. If it is a typo, a wrong typings of the word, or the term that you have been searching turn to be unsound one or unlikely one. Like if you search cosmetic with injection, for example, cosmetic we cannot work like an injection route because we just have to work with onto a topical or apply onto skin. If you use the word injections turn to be in medications or medicine or drugs, it's completely different. So it sounds like you use an unlikely term or some kinds turn to be specific term, too specific. If it's turned to be too specific, of course, yes, sometimes it will not be happened or unsearchable. And the last one, check your database. If this is the right one, if this is the collect of database that you choose to search your information or not, right? Okay, after you have been searched, all of everything's here, you can carve the topics. You gather all of literature that necessary for your concept of idea to refine the topic.
and later on you draft your concept papers. A concept papers tend to be like it's work like a mini proposals, right? To see what kind of the flow of the work that you have been done, what kind of objective of the work that you're supposed to hand on, what kind of a scope of your research work, a scope not just only the methodology but also a scope of the techniques, a scope of time, a scope of budget, and output or outcome that's supposed to represent or show in your concept paper. If your output and outcome abide or align with the objective that you have been set or not, afterward you can enlarge your concept paper into a proposal. What happened after you have been draft your concept papers and you feel the topics that you have been crafted first turn to be not that pretty much attractive or reflects everything that you are going to do for your research work? You can refine it. It's okay to refine the topics, right? The refine processes can be happen during the time that you do a literature review. And of course, yes, during a time that you have been conducting your concept papers. After you have been agreed in the status of the graduate student, after you have been agreed with your supervisor, Ajahn, I would love to do this with the concept like this one. After that agreement, or after the agreement with your researcher team, if you would like to draft a proposal to ask for the financial support, you can use a concept paper to discuss with your team. Your teams mean your supervisor or your researcher team, and then upgrade or up-level it into something that we can call like a research proposal. Research proposals will be armed or leveled up with more detailed, deep and much more detail from concept paper. A proposal, it will be like your handbook. It will work like your manual to do your research work, right? So if you start to work properly to define your research topic and refine the topic and make it far more good in terms of a proposal. A proposal, what you can adopt from a proposal to writing down your research articles, it will be those of introductions or background rationales, including methodology and those of research review. If you have been done it far more good in a proposal, writing your research result, it will be far more fluent, right? Again, proposals work like a manual for you, tell you about the step, a protocol, a process that you would like to work on your research. In the green box of research, of course, yes, we do a research. All of our research work supposed to be abide with the research standard. And then we will have a good of result proper for our presentations over here, right? Let's see what does this mean in terms of research standard. There will be a toolbox. If you abide with the left box in the blue color, you do all of your research. Abide with ethics. It means that
you are meeting with the research standard. Ethicals in our research work it means that you do everything honestly. All of your result, all of your methodologies that you have been conduct, you adjust them all with fair and honest. Those of your methodologies that you have been designed objectively with the objective that you have been set. It means that the experimental part that you have been designed can answer or can pursue your goal to meet with your objective. You do your research work with the openness of opinions. Research is research. It can give you a positive result or negative result because it is a research. If we know the answer at first, we need not to conduct a research, right? So we need to make it honestly at first and open for the disappointment. Some result that you have been devoted onto may not positive. If it's turned to be negative, of course, yes, you need to hand it on honestly and trustworthiness with all of the respect. In contrast, which term that if you happen to involve with it, it turns out that you are not do your research work to meet up or achieving with the research standard. Commonly we call scientific misconduct. A scientific misconduct like you fabricate the result. Oh, it look kind of positive about with the objective that you have been set, but it happened to be insignificantly differences. For example, you want your research work far more significant. You fabricate some of the data that change the statistical analysis into a significant differences or significant better from the control, for example. We call fabrications. And far more worse, at the worst case, you don't just only fabricate the result, but you are falsificated. Falsification means you make something wrong into something right. You make something negative into positive. We call falsifications. Fabrication and falsifications is turned to be a worst scenario of doing a research work. But sometimes some things may be happened along the line by you are not intend to, but sometimes it's turned out to be like a plagiarism. A plagiarism may be something happen along the line that we do the literature review. Sometimes you just forget to cite the references. If you just forget or by mistake something's wrong, like just mispaste of a citations, it will be account into plagiarism. If it turned out to be plagiarism, it's turned to be one set of scientific misconduct. Plagiarism maybe happens along the way that you are proposed your idea. Or like you have been attend several of scientific meetings and you are in the burned out of your idea, for example. Oh, that idea turned to be far more interesting. I would love to propose almost the same of idea. We call plagiarism. Or you perform a research work same with some of researcher that has been published. Come on, อาจารย์ if the research methodologies turn to be the key of the answer of your objective, methodologies turn to be your goal of the standard. However, we cannot do like a mirror of methodology. Yet the dialogue of doing a methodologies happen to be almost same, but not identical. So beware or please keep in mind in terms of methodology citation, the method that you have been modified from a different group of researchers, don't forget to cite them on. Plagiarism may be happen during the reviewing process of your report before you are reporting the result of your research work. Please keep yourself along the line in terms of ethical research. And then this will be your cornerstone to handle all of problems that might be happens in the futures during the time that you prepare your manuscript. All right. Okay, I would love to have a bio break for 10 minutes from here, if it's okay for you guys. I will far more deep in detail in terms of ethical research from this slide, but I would love to have a bio break for 10 minutes, if it's okay. Okay, see you again for 10-minute bio break. Thank you.
Okay, welcome back.
Should I start? Okay. Again, our scientific research work supposed to be handled or conducted by with the ethicals of research. We do everything for make it into a scientific integrity. So please keep as your habit good citation practice. Once you have been trained yourself to have a good citation practice, you will automatically protect yourself against plagiarism. And please keep in mind to verify your data. Verifications of the data that you have been retrieved will help you to make a discussions. And verifications of data mean you have been working everything about with honesty, fairness, openness, and objectivity, right? So it's going to be like everything have been like a cross-checking to prolong or to preserve or to achieve our qualities of our research work, right? And in case of a research misconduct, as I have been told you that better not fabricate it, better not falsificate it. But somehow what have been happens by accident, sometimes it's turned to be like a plagiarism. Plagiarism by mistake, not by intentions, because sometimes we forget to cite the literatures at the proper positions. However, the AIs, like Turnitin, automatically checks that overlap or the similarities of the wordings that we have been done. So it's turned out to be like a plagiarism resulted, right? Okay, let's see in terms of scientific articles. To present your research work, you may start with poster presentation and up-level into oral presentations. But our final goals for our graduations, like a postgraduate study, you may need to publish your work in the accredited database in the scientific journal titles that specify for your field that it will be adopted for your graduations. In terms of a proposal that we have been prepared to be approved for a financial support, we're gonna publish or present our research result in the format of report in the yellow box here. Report what that you have been done, right? Report turn to be one set or one type of the scientific articles. Together with report, you may work it like a scientific review. And the most important one for today turn to be research articles. Research articles can be either a full research. Of course, yes, all of us expect to publish our research work into a full versions of research work. Sometimes you may have seen some of journals handed those of research articles in a different name, calling research note or research report or research communication, but published in the journals. Note or communications is depend on the publishers. It depend on that journal which word that they would love to categorize. Note or communications turn to be a mini versions of full articles. How the journals labeled or differentiate between full research work or full research article from note or communications. It depends on the significance of that work, impact of that works. If it's not that pretty much what makes a large significant or lot of impact, it may be published in line with note or communication, right? But for your graduation, I mean for students, supposed to be full publications. Publications of your research work in the format of scientific articles might will be fit with a different type of readers. If you if you present your research result in a report, of course, yes, your reader will be financial support agency or your funders. But if you publish your work in review article, research articles, of course, yes, your reader will be the expert in your discipline. The expert in your discipline shall be the professor in different institutions or those of researchers that are working in a different sector of the industrial. Like in cosmetics, we also have researchers in the institute that work for the companies, not only the academic institute, right? But they are all those of expert researchers in the field. So after you have been known who will be your readers, you can make it happen. You can prepare your articles. Review articles will be one sort of things that far more help you after you have been done a hard work in terms of your literature review. You can summarize everything into your review articles. But review articles still be the scientific writing style. Of course, yes, it's not that easy at the first step. It's not easy for the beginners or the novice one. But you can train yourself, or your supervisor can also train you. You can learn how to make it in the better of versions. But please keep in mind because we are writing a scientific articles. So you need to make it clear and concise. Clear, short, concise, and impact. You may write down your literature review in a review article, but I don't have that pretty much of time. You're gonna focus into your research article. Of course, yes, you can make it happen. It's not easy at the first step, but you can make it happen. Definitely, I wish. Let's see at first in terms of a scientific report. Of course, yes, it's one type of scientific writings, but you need to make it in line or abide with the format of the approved or your funders. What kind of format that they want, right? The structure will start with the bodies of the structure itself, like a titles, executive summary, the abstract, introduction, methodology, results and discussions, and conclusion and references. And what next in the appendix? If appendix, of course, yes, because you are writing scientific report, your report must be abide with the approved proposals. And somehow in the appendix, it will come with those of the budget details or those of a balance sheet. It's also one type of a scientific writings, right? And any statistical analysis that you need to insert into your appendix. And additional of output or outcome that abide with your proposal, right? But what about the journal? To prepare the article that you want to publish in the journals. The journal structures Of course, yes, it must be abide with the format with the specify of journal titles. In general, it will start with a title, almost identical with the scientific report that you need to write it to submit for your financial supporter. It starts with title, abstract, and introductions, and the bodies of your manuscript. I said body because sometimes some format of the journals introductions, then the next part will be result in discussion, for example, and the latter part will be methodologies or experimental part. So bodies may be switched. It depends on the size of each journal. And in the bottom line, it will be a reference. But you better keep in mind, you need to make them all logical order arrangement. Titles will tell the readers, will tell the audience what you're gonna do and what you're gonna get. Abstract turn to be a mini version, tell you everything that you have to be done. In terms of its introductions, it will tell you about background rationale. So everything's supposed to be in a logic order, right? But before you prepare your manuscript, before you start the step, prepare your articles, better select which journal that you would like to publish. The selections or the choice of journals, of course, you're gonna be hint during the time that you do data searching. Right. During the time that you have been conduct your data searching, you can see, oh, if I am interested with this, which journal they publish a lot. During the time that you do data searching means you receive or you consult everything from accredited database. And then every database will shape you up in terms of the scope of the journals. And then finally, the red one and a big alphabet. That journals must be specified for your field. Alright, one journal there will be like a face, a one paragraph tell you about the scope of that journal. But if that scope perfectly or specifically fit for your field or not, then you can select the right one of a journal that you would like to publish. After you select the journals, it's turned to be the journal that I would love to publish. It turned to be that journal that happened to be my milestone. You're gonna consult in terms of journal format. What kind of the structures that journal require? What kind of the layout of that journals that detailed in the author guideline. Nowadays we can work with the because of Internet of Things, you can consult everywhere, every time, anytime that you want. You can find the structures of that journal abide or align with that format, and what kind of reference style that journal want. You consult author guideline at first, and then everything will be far more easier during the time that you prepare your articles. And what kind of document that journal will need or require during the time of submissions. For example, do they need a title page separately? Do they need highlight for that journals? Do they need graphical ads in addition to the abstract that you need to prepare? Right. Consult journal guideline at first and prepare your articles. In common, the structure of the journals, it will be start like this. title, abstract, keyword, introductions, and the bodies of the articles, followed by discussion, reference, figures, figure and tables. Figure and table in common, supposed to be in the latter part, after reference. It will be the guideline like for figures. You need to submit the figure separately in each figure in the TIFF format, for example, not in the PDF format. And what size of the table that you need to prepare. And if you need to submit supplementary data as well or not. So again, consult with the journal format at first. In terms of a title, of course, yes, you have be guide during the time that you do the research work. You have been already design and refine your titles. But please keep in mind again, you need to make your title that represent in your articles attractive. Attractive enough, and your title can identify the issues, the main issue of your articles or your papers. In general, it begins with the subjects of the paper that you're gonna do, like for example, um, development and efficacy assessment of cosmetics products containing nanoparticles, blah blah blah, for example. You need to make it attractive and tell the readers what the reader gonna get from your articles. Better not use abbreviations unless it's turned to be well known, like anti-MMP1, for example. MMP1 come from matic metal polynase. It means that the readers will be know that the content inside the articles, it will be something that protects against collagen degradations in the skin. For example, like this one. After titles, it will be followed by the abstract. Again, abstract for specific journals will be different in style. At least they will tell you, like an abstract within 150 words or less than 300 words, for example. Or some of the journals might tell you that the abstract is supposed to be a constructive abstract. Start with a background rationale followed by objective and then method and then result and then conclusion, for example. Specify which journal that you would like to publish at first. Your abstract supposed to be informative and indicative. The titles will attract the readers. And the next part that will attract the reader will be the abstract, right? And later on the bottoms of the abstract, you can see it will be the position where keyword will be laid out. Again, keyword supposed to be attractive because we use just of keyword for data searchings. If you can craft the keyword that hit with any kind of data searchings that specify for your field, well, your journals, your articles will be happen in every search that some of audience would like to do or interest the same field with you. Of course, yes, the keyword supposed to be fitting with the scope of a journals. Some journals they have their recommendations of a keyword, like for example, International Journal of Cosmetic Science. You can use 6 keywords, but 3 keywords suppose or must select from the index that they give you. I mean that the journal give you. If you cannot tick or select the keyword from the set that the journal have been set, it's tend to be work like a filter, or I cannot find a keyword that fitting with the journals. It might be the first step that your work might not perfectly fit with the scope of journals, right? Your keywords supposed to be fitting with the scope of journals. Specify the context, what you are going to tell. And again, better not use abbreviations. And your keyword, like a titles, must be attractive. After that, it will be the sections for introductions. Introductions will tell you about like a background rationales, tell you why you want to do this, and embed with your objective, and also inform or action like a part of a literature reviews if we compare with the scientific report writings. And what news? What's supposed to be a new things? What's supposed to be a different issue? What's supposed to be a better result that the readers gonna get from your articles? Your introductions will tell about something that attribute a niche, occupy the niche. What new, what different, and what that better that that the reader gonna get from reading these articles. You need to tell the readers in the introduction section. And later on, it will be a bodies of your manuscript. Of course, yes, it might be start with the methodology, and the methodology is supposed to be method sound and the result. The results mean you get a result from a research part that you have been done. So the result will be logically aligned with methodologies. They come along. They come together. You do what and you get what, right? They must be abide or align or in accordance together. And then you make the later part in terms of discussions. Again, brief tellings the readers about the result. I say brief telling. I don't say copy some of result and paste it in discussion. No, not like that. Just use a different word. Make it into a summary of findings that you have been find in your result. And if it reflect, if it's a reflects the background and rationale that you would like to do. And don't forget to discuss with a previous study, because this part is discussion part. So you need to compare logically with a different study that different researchers have been done. And you may again conclude after you have been offered or tell about the result, and later on you tell us about the discussion. Summarize or wrap up or recap. Recap what that you have been done. Recap what that you have been get. It means a conclusions that you better drawn from the result with the supportive of the evidence that you have been done abide with your methodology. And what next? You may arrive with some kind of further of research work that better conduct. Everything's supposed to be done under the scope of the methodologies that you have been done. You can conclude, you can discuss, of course, from the result. And of course, yes, again, result will be conformed
the methodology. So everything will be represented logically together. Again, it's not that easy, but it's not that too hard. You can train yourself and you can learn. The most easy way how to learn from it is keep reading. If you do far more good in terms of a literature review, you can absorb the style, you can absorb logical thinking or logical flow of how to write your own self articles. And the bottom part for your articles preparations will be reference. A reference, don't forget to make it abide with the format of the journal that you would like to publish. Some journals make it into a number system, a numeric system, sometimes that we call Vancouver style. Or some it will be APA style, APA or name year style. Right. So if you don't consult the the format of your interest journal at first, it will be a mess up in the bottom line during the time that you prepare your manuscript. Consult it first and then you can select the right versions of your reference citations, either name year or APA, or numbers system, or sometimes we call Vancouver style. And if that journals require some of DOI citations as well. Citation in the reference. List in the reference in terms of DOI. DOI come from digital object identifiers because nowadays we have plenty of journals that publish online only, no longer hard copy. So we need to identify our articles that we have been include them as our reference presented with DOI as well. Other reference in the general format of the structures of the journals, it will be figures and tables that you're gonna use them to explain your result or to help you to discuss the work. You may don't use the figures. You may also use table. The size of represents depend on your choice. Which one that you think it will be far more easier for the reader to catch up on what you want to tell them. And the latter part, it will be supplementary sector. What kind of supporting information that you require or that you need to submit along the line or together with your manuscript, like a spectrum like a FTIR spectrum, XRD spectrum, for examples, or NMR spectrum, or etc. That will tell the reviewer check up with the intricacies of your research and the calculation like your statistical analysis, what kind of statistical method that you have been done and you say, oh, significantly different. Everything's all in supplementary result. The next part will be a plan. Right. Without your research work, you're gonna it's impossible to have a result to write down into a manuscript, right? So it means that we start from a research topic, keep it refined and defined during the time that you have been conduct your literature review. If you have been working far more excellent during the course of your literature reviews, it means that you make a data searching from a credit database. You have been received or you have been gathered a form of work that different group of researchers have been published in accredited journal that fit with the scope of your research, right? You have been conduct your research work abide with the proposal that you have been construct. The proposal will work like your manual, your handbook, tell you about the scope. Because actually during the time that doing a research work, you can it will be arrive with some of interesting issue, but you need to keep yourself on track in the scope on what you are going to do. So that's why I keep telling you that proposal will be your handbook, will be your Bibles, will be your guideline that will achieve your goals to do a research work. Right. After you have been done with all of your research work, you start to plan to write it down into your manuscript. Of course, yes, you need to plan what kind of a framework. If you have a perfect version of your proposal, you can adopt that framework from your proposal, right? And then you draft, make it into a mini version from your proposal because you can extract some of the literature review part that you have been input into your proposal into your introduction part. And you can also extract, make it into a concise versions of the methodology in your from your proposal into your manuscript draft. After the first draft, revise it. Is it good or not? If it's something that need to be fixed up, revise the draft into a edit versions. Edit again, revise again and again up until you have an excellent versions of your draft that your supervisor or your committee or your researcher team have been approved with that final versions of the manuscript. And then you can submit it for a journal or submit it as a report for your financial support agency, right? I just want to share a little bit in terms of a planning tip. You may remind the flow chart over here. Planning. Plan. I plan everything so because I have planned everything so from the proposal I have planned everything. But the planning into the article preparation a little bit different. I would like to share a tip. A titles of your manuscript may not be completely identical with your thesis titles or your dissertation titles because um, a journal publication is supposed to be in short, concise, but high impact. So the title need not to be identical with your thesis titles. It can be like a part of your thesis or a part of your dissertation. What kind of titles that supposed to be reflect everything that you want the readers knows or attract onto your work? Start with the titles. At first, for a planning tip of your uh, article preparations, and then write down an abstract. After you have your own abstract, you're gonna have a clear picture of a flow, logically flow of your articles. And then you fill in, decorate your draft. I mean your manuscript draft. Decorate your draft. Abide or align with the titles that you have planned. and abide with the scope that you have been telling the reader from the abstract. So better start from the titles, and please keep in mind your journal titles need not to be identical with your thesis or dissertation titles, right? And later on, make it into an abstract. You can get the clear pictures. During the time of your articles preparations, I will share some kind of what I can tell. This is a point of concern. The point of concern during you prepare your draft and during you prepare a final manuscript, you may arrive with some question uncertainties. If it's ready, how could you make sure when this is supposed to be definitely ready? If it's turned to be too late, for example, you prepare your draft, you prepare your final manuscript too late, for example. We are working in the high competitive of research work. If you start to draft your work kind of too late, maybe a different group of researchers might publish almost the same work. If there will be some of research group publish that work, oh, your research result can no longer be new, no longer be different, no longer be better. So it means that you just limited your possibility to be accepted, to be published. Oh, it's not that a good scene, right? What happens if it's turned to be too early? Too early means you have some sort of result, but you may not make it in a truly process in terms of a verification of the result. You may remind what I have been telling you that the research standard verification turned to be one part that far more important for a research standard. If you prepare your draft or submit it too early, the reviewer of the journal may arrive with a lot of questions and you may not answer properly. The final answer from the journals might be rejected. It's supposed to badly disappoint you, right? So, what or how can you make decisions if it's too early or if it's too late? Consult with your supervisor. Of course, during the course that you make a draft, you need to consult closely with your supervisor and your team in case you are preparing research articles that extract from your research work that you get grant from some agency. I said supervisor and committee because you may not have only one supervisor. Sometimes your supervisor may think, oh, you are ready. You get enough of data, you get enough of result. Your supervisor may say you are ready and push you to make a draft. But it might be some point that you, from your considerations, you think it's too early. You may ask your thesis or dissertation committee. Consult together, not just only your supervisor. Make a consult to have a proper answer to amp up your confidence. Right? To amp up your confidence that, okay, you make a decisions in a middle way, not too early and not too late. right? After you have been done all, one more point of concern that I would like to share with you here is all about authorship. You make a draft, but still not written down who gonna be the author for your articles. This process turned to be one of the importance of process as well. Who should be listed as the author for your journals or for your papers that make important contributions onto that research work can be listed as the author who help you, or a person who make a draft, or a person who revise the manuscript critically. But it doesn't mean one who polish English for you. You're writing the manuscript in English, but somehow you maybe thinks my language not that a good one because we are not native English speakers. You may ask somebody to polish your manuscript. They just help you into polishing an English, a polishing language. That person need not to be listed as an author, right? Author supposed to be person who enrolls, who work equally, who work in part in this work. And all of the authors that are on list for this manuscript shall be make an agreement. Agree that this one supposed to be first author, this name supposed to be a second author, etc. Right? But if just one person that help you to collect a questionnaire, he or she need not to be listed as a author. Or you ask some of your colleagues or your friends, come on, Sky, help me to do this statistical analysis. You may need not to write his or her name down there, but you can list their name in the acknowledgement, right? Some person or some of the mentor that you may consult your former supervisor or your former professor about the idea. He or she may be listed in the acknowledgement section instead of the authors, right? And please keep in mind a first name of that manuscript supposed to be one who worked most closely in the research work. For graduate student, you need to check with the requirement of your graduation and discuss with your supervisor, discuss with your Ajahn. Ajahn, I need to be the first name because I will need to use this journal collect for my graduation requirement. And because you want to be a first person there, so it means that it's gonna reflect your responsibilities onto the research work as well. You need to work harder and harder, although the concept of the works come from your supervisor. I mean, the idea or the concept or the financial support come from your supervisor. But because you will need it for your graduations, you need to make it clear with your supervisor or your committee of supervisor at first to be listed in terms of the authors. And because we try to make everything sound method and everything ethical in terms of research work, we need to concern in terms of conflict of interest as well.
because we have a lot of team working in this work. Some part of a financial support come from a different institute. You need to mention them all, or in case it's turned to be some kind of intellectual properties, abide with that research work. In case you have IP, in case you have patent, abide with that research work. You need to make it clear at the first place because if it's come like an IP, it means that it will have a chance for commercialization. And if you don't make it clear at the first place, lots of conflict of interest will be happened, and in the vaccine, the journal might be withdraw or retext that articles that come with a conflict of interest. Right. So make it clear in terms of authorship, in terms of conflict of interest before submissions of your manuscript. Of course, yes, you have been done kind of hard work to do a research work, and you have been invest a lot of your time writing down your research work. Before submissions, there will be point of concern, several point of concern that you need to concern. Make it clear at the first place. Together with authorship, together with conflict of interest. Now, most journals happen to ask you to make a declaration here. They want you to make a declaration to minimize conflict of interest that might be happens in the future. Declarations in terms of author contributions. The author that are listed in the journals need to clarify what action, what responsibilities, what about the rules that that author have been contributed in that manuscript. If you use animal subject in your research work, you need to abide with the ethical approvals, right? Mapleton University have also the animals approval board to do a research work in animals, and if that work have been conducted in human volunteers, sometimes we call like a clinical study. You need to be approved with the ethical board or EC board of the institute at first. You need to name and you need to submit the approval to do a research work in animals or in human volunteers. Some journals ask you to register that study if you conduct a research work in animal in clinicals in some of platform that they will give you again. And we have to make a declarations in terms of biodiversity right as well. We do a research work in Thailand. We have to obey with the biodiversity right. In Thai, we call Plant Protection Act พระราชบัญญัติคุ้มครองพืชสมุนไพร in Thai. I'm not quite perfectly remind the name, but in the issue number 50, 52 and 53, you need to make it clear in terms of biodiversity right under Kingdom of Thailand. You need to make a declaration and a different etc. term that the journal might want. And far more important nowadays, if you use AI in your scientific writings, they're gonna ask you in terms of generative AI in scientific writing. You need to make a declarations. If you use AI during the course of your literature review. Nowadays, you make a data searchings and you upload the file of the journal in PDF file, for example. and then you open that PDF file of that manuscript. It will be automatically from Adobe ask you if you liked AI of Adobe to summarize or highlight the point of that manuscript or not. They will ask you automatically if you use that AI, you need to make decorations. If you use AI to find academic papers, if you use AI to summarize those of conclusion or highlight point of that journals that you have been download. If you use AI during the course of your literature review. And the second part, if you ask ChatGPT, what's supposed to be the proper titles? You ask ChatGPT for suggest a titles, or you ask ChatGPT in terms of literature review, or you ask ChatGPT to draft the initial draft for you. You need to make it clear under decorations. Or you just use the AI formatting your draft. Or you just use AI to illustrate figures or to illustrate or to generate tables. Formattings and figures, table generations, not that pretty much serious. Yeah, you can use AI too. But if you use AI too during the course of drafting, during the course of literature review, you need to make it clear without any kind of bias, right? You use AI for formattings is okay, like you use reference citations will be a lot of EndNote, for example, is also AI. Yeah, it's acceptable, but if you just use EndNote, it's acceptable. But if you use AI to paraphrase, you need to check it. You want to save your manuscript from plagiarism, for example. You use AI for paraphrasing. After paraphrasing, if it still maintain the meaning that you intend to communicate or not. Nowadays, we cannot deny to use AI to help us. I said help. Just help us to prepare a manuscript. We cannot deny a positive point, a good point that why we better use AI because advancement nowadays. Like me, I use AI to generate some kind of figures. You can see Pusang, Winnie the Pooh, sorry. Winnie the Pooh with that I use AI to generate figures, but I cite the reference. We cannot deny advancement of AI nowadays, and it's turned to be far more involved in our scientific work. We cannot deny, but you need to handle it properly. Because if you cannot handle them properly, it's turned to be a negative point or cons point. If you say yes for Adobe to highlight some point of the manuscript that you upload from the database, maybe that highlight part might not cover the point of your interest. Sometimes it's turned to be irrelevant, not relate on what you are interested on. And some, they summarize something with bias, for example. Because the learning machines, a person, a human being, we can input, but let them help us. But please keep in mind, if is some information that exclude using AI, is it truly relate on what you want? And sometimes overly licensed, too much, pretty much, a lot that you cannot summarize anything else, and it might make a misleading onto the directions of that articles, right? And the far more serious if a negative side using AI help you to write things that manuscript. It will be lower or diminish your skill or your professionals. You can use AI. Journal themselves, they also have their own AI to track or to monitor if this author have been prepared or written their manuscript properly or ethically or not, right? After that, now you have your own manuscript. A final versions have been all approved by all of the authors that have been listed in the manuscript. You're gonna submit for your interesting journals. Authors tend to be the main part to action during the publication processes. You submit to the journal work with the reviewers feedback to the journal, and journal feedback to you, and you feedback to the journals again. It will work like these processes. After you submit a journal, you submit the papers, the editorial board of that journal will make a quality checking at first. A quality checking in terms of a layout of format at first. Okay, if it's turned to be fit with the format of the journals, a next part will be the scientific part. The scientific part, the academic editors will check if the titles attractive, abstracts, informative enough, and indicative enough, and fit with the scope of a journal or not. Perfectly fit, everything good because you have been prepared it needy. You prepare your manuscript far more needy. The editorial board work together with the chief editors will assign the reviewer. The reviewer that work in the same field with with the context that we have been submit. It will be the invitations for the reviewers. Show up in terms of a title and abstract and blind. Blind means no name of the authors, no name of no affirmations, no host, right? So the reviewer will be blind. Who's gonna be the owner of that work? They just focus on to the scientific significance and accuracy and sound methodologies. The reviewer, if they accept the invitations, they will work. In general, we work for free. Yeah, work for free. Although you submit some of a journal with APC or article publishing chart, the reviewer work for free because we want to strengthen up or solidify the knowledge, and we work like not as charities. We want to strengthen up the scientifics as well in our field, right? The reviewer will work, study the context of your manuscript and reflect the editor with suggestions. After you receive some of feedback from the reviewer, the journals by the editor will communicate with you, and then you revise again up until they say yes, accept you for publish. and then your manuscript will transfer from your academic section into production sections. We call like production editor, not academic editors. Okay, let's see. During the course of a peer review, what they're gonna check? I mean the reviewer. Alright, during the time that you have been prepare your research work, you try to do everything far more good and approved by your team, approved by your supervisor. The reviewer will check again in terms of article merit. If it is important, if it's significant enough to do such work, if it's a solidified or high impact to the discipline that we are handling with. And what about the usefulness? They're gonna check onto this. This is relevance. Relevance with the scope again. Although the editor has been checked, the reviewer will check again. And if it's gonna fit with the reader or not. And those of the method that you have been conduct in methodologies. Again, the heart, the importance, the most important things is your methodology part, right? Your method, if it's sound enough, if it's relate with the objective that you have been set, and the method that you have been conduct are also sound ethics. You have been conduct ethically, accurately, and honestly or not. And if you report the work in a complete version, not a fragment versions like a cosmetic part 1, cosmetic part 2. The title like this is meaningless. Don't tell anything. And why it's turned to be part 1, part 2, and part 3? Oh, why? So one word supposed to be complete enough and accurate. Accuracies of the written of your articles. Accurate sound logically and abide with the methodologies that you have been set. The process of review have been taken like this one, and they will notify you. Good news, except, but in general, not a first answer for except. It will comes like revisions. Revisions can be either minor or major revisions. After you get a revision note from the journal, of course, yes, you need to consult with your supervisor and all of your co-author because some answer or some issue that has been arise during the reviewing processes, you may not be able to answer them all by your own self. And please keep in mind, this is your work. This is your originalities. Some reviewers may ask you to do a lot of work besides that you have been offered in your manuscript. They tell you for a major revision and ask you to do more additionals of methodologies. You need to communicate with them why you do that method. Some question maybe arise if you don't. You may not clearly highlight the objective for the readers. Sometimes they might blur onto your objective, and some of writing style may misleading the readers. Some notifications that you have been received from a reviewer, going back to check your manuscript at first and consult with your team what kind of the directions that you're gonna revise your work. Is it necessary to do all of the experiment that the reviewer asks you to do? If your team agree that no, what you have been designed for your methodology are relevant or adequate enough to answer the objective that you have been set. You need to communicate back with the reviewer, but don't forget to check your manuscript. If anything blur or your written style not that precisely or concisely or easily to lead the reader to get into the point that you want to communicate or not, right? And keep revises. But the worst case, your answer from the journals turn to be rejected. Oh, worst case turn to be rejects. But beneath the rejects answers or rejects response, it will be two options in general. Reject but recommend for resubmissions means the journals find something far more interesting onto your work, but it might be some kind of written style or might be some of presentation style that you need to be revised, but far more enlarged version that cannot be adjusted as a major revision. They reject you but recommend for resubmission if you check 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points like this one. If it's turned to be reject with recommend for resubmissions for me, oh, at least not that bad. It's not a definitely or 100% bad news for me because at least you get some point that they advise you to improve the qualities of your manuscript. But if it turned out to be rejected and not recommended for resubmissions, maybe seems to be out of scope, or maybe um, some point onto our manuscript. Any feedback, any notifications that you get from the publishers, better turn your eyes back onto your manuscript at any point that we might miss it. I mean, make it not pretty much clear. We can also revise before submit for a new journals, right? But actually, some of us prefer something except over here, right? Either notifications that you receive from the journals, better consult, better inform, better work with your supervisor and your committees or your co-authors. And after acceptance, your manuscript will pass for the productions editors again. Academic editors, we are done onto our works. It will be set up, typesetting, and recheck with those of reference that you have inside. And then they will send you back in the version we call gallery proof or sometimes we call camera proof. Or it will be represented like this. Any point that if it's okay or not, everything okay or not. If you approve with the gallery proof, it will be published online. Published online nowadays tend to be at least two versions, like accepted manuscript, but not yet proof manuscript. An online version in terms of proof manuscript, but without the issue or page number assigned. Right. After acceptance, you're gonna get a version like this one. Wow, it's far more good. Let me see. Last Mentimeter that I would like to share with you. So here, Mentimeter. Sorry, hold on a second. Please scan this QR code and please share with us what kind of a journal that you would like to publish. Okay, I will copy a link and share it for you in the chat box. Copy. Oops. Where is my chat box here? Hold on a second. Chat box. Do you want to publish in PubMed? Wow, scientific report +1. Excellent. Proceedings. Emerald is a publisher. Scopus is publishers. Scopus if possible, right? Scientific report. This is journal names. +1 is the journal names. Scopus, PubMed, Emerald, soon to be publishers. So again, research in globalization. Wow. So again, better check with the database, accredited database in your field, and extract which journals in that field that fit with you that you would like to publish. From +1 and scientific report, from my knowledge, it's turned to be the journal with article publishing chart or APC, right? And this means that anybody can open it and read it without subscriptions. However, +1 and scientific report cost almost more than $3,000, I guess. If you can afford it, it's okay. But let me share with you some idea. In Nature's Springers, that is the publishers for scientific report, you can request for APC web. From my experience, because we have a limitations of financial support to do a research works, I always ask the journals. Migration Health. Oh, excellent. In case you want to publish your work, that the journals comes together with APC, I recommend you guys ask for the web at first. But in case if you have enough of financial support, it's fine. But for me, I don't have trust of support because we have a ceiling of budget or financial support to do research work. So once we have been done all of our research work, I asked the publishers, and all of my publications in the like a scientific report, we pay nothing because the journals, the academics editors, they will find, if it's going to be far more merit in terms of scientific or not. If they say yes, yeah, they have a spare space for you as well. So we can ask this one. You can bench yourself at the quartile 1, for example. But once again, it need not necessary to publish or to select your work in a quartile 1 only, right?
เอ๊ะอยู่ไหนล่ะเนี่ย โอเค You name me. You share with us already. Which journal that you would like to publish? Congratulations, you are published. Congratulations because you have been devote yourself to do hard work. You prepare your manuscript neatly and work closely with your supervisor. You have been done far more good since the titles of your research. You keep refine, consulting with your literature review that you have searched from the accredited database. You have gathered all of you need to do your research work, and then you conduct your research work with the sound method, ethically, and then you prepare the manuscript and submit it to the journals that you are expecting to publish your work. Congratulations, you are published. Wow, excellent. You know the processes to do that. But in the real scene, in the real world, after published our works, um, at the end of the day, it turned out not to be at the end of the day actually. In case if you have been missing some part, doing your research work by mistake, unethical in some part, or you forget to make a declaration in some part, for example, they all regarded as unethics or misconduct research. By mistake, if we have been done that, sooner or later, it's going to be exposed. Exposed in terms of redact articles. Like this one, I just searched Google Scholar from the 6th of May. The wording retracts 2 million. That's turned to be retext. Or I searched InsiderX. Just more than 40,000 of retext articles. You can see come with the titles of a research work and with the name of all authors. Sooner or later, if we don't work properly at some part, we just forget to do some parts, or by mistake that I just forget something. So that's the reason why I keep telling you again and again, work closely with your supervisor, work closely with your co-authors, all of your co-authors. They will help you, or maybe this part turn to be some questions, or this part turn to be not solidified yet. They will help you to amp up or achieve the qualities of your research work. Like this one in Springer Link, it more than 56 retext journals, retext articles. It's come with the journal name and the author list here. Or in case of Willy, Willy, what can I say here? If it's going to be a journals, it's almost 40,000 journals retexted, right? We don't want our work to be retracted like this one. What about Scopus? Scopus almost 40,000 documented here. Sooner or later, so we need to make it far more needy in terms of journals or articles preparations. And we can see in terms of a watch list here. A watch list, I'm gonna share you. Oops, sorry. Okay. Oh. Sorry, I would like to share you some a watch list for retext journals over here.
It will be from the link that I give you in the slide, and the slide I will give you to the staff again, and they will share it for you. You can consult the list that turn to be updated over here. It's going to be a lot of the list of something that turn to be retract. And I want to share one more new share. Sorry. But, sorry, I'm going to. Okay. And I've just searched a watch list, RETAG journals. I just searched from this database and input a country, Thailand. Just data as of May 7. It will show you, because I searched with Thailand, it will show a list of authors and a reason why that journals turn to be retracts. It's come with the name of and affirmations over here. So it's not what we are expecting, and it's turned to be not a good scene. And if it's happened, and if the journals they check up later on, like a post publications state that all of the journals, all of the publishers have been checked. The journal will inform the reviewer that you have been some work not good enough because it might be not meeting with the scientific merit, and it will announcement in terms of withdrawals of that journals. But before that, as a reviewer or editor that I have some kind of experience, we will communicate directly with the author. If there will be any answer, additional answer, any explanations that you want to against that survey, that post publication result that the journals has been notified, you can communicate with them. But if your answer not reasonable enough, final answer will be retake or withdrawals. And it will be the announcement in their website like that, the website of the publishers. And the publishers will hang your name, all of the themes of the co-authors, banned for 3 or 5 years, depend on the severities of the reason why that manuscript or why that journals, why that papers has been withdrawn or retracted. And the publishers, I said publisher, not journal, publisher will inform different publishers in the related field. They share the information. Your name will be hanged in a watch list after your banning penalties has been expired. They're gonna check your work far more rigorously. That's turned to be the experience that I used to experience with as a reviewers. And the journals will inform the institutions, they will inform your organization, they will inform you all of the affirmation that you have been informed them. And if the journals, that manuscript, turn to be account for your graduation's requirement, the university will do a serious scene of finals degree retractions. Um, as far as I know, degree retractions actually it happens almost every day in some university or some institute because it's going to be a serious thing. So please keep in mind, if you do everything at the first step properly, ethically, you can guarantee yourself your journals will not be retract or withdraw, and you can happy with your publications and gather them all for your graduations. In addition to what I'm sharing here, you can find more what like a coach or guideline how to write a scientific papers or how to draft your research articles. There, there will be a lot of textbooks as well as journals that far more update from what I have been used. But fundamental is fundamentals. Fundamentals is do everything ethically, and it will be your safeguard, protect you against withdrawal or retracts of your journals. Thank you very much for your attention, and I wishing you all success with your publications. In case there will be any share, you can share by typing in a chat box in Thai or in English, or you can turn on your microphone. It's okay. I'm happy to hear that. มีคำถามไหมคะ หรือมีส่วนไหนอยากแชร์ไหม จะพิมพ์ในแชตบ็อกซ์ก็ได้ หรือว่าจะเปิดไมค์ก็ได้ ได้ทั้งภาษาไทยแล้วก็ภาษาอังกฤษนะคะ เพราะทราบว่ามีท่านอาจารย์หลายๆท่านก็มาร่วมแชร์วันนี้ ก็อยากให้ท่านอาจารย์ช่วยแชร์ไอเดียกันด้วยก็ได้นะคะ หรือว่ามีส่วนไหนอยากถามหรือว่าอยากได้คำแนะนำเพิ่มเติม ก็สามารถเปิดไมค์คุยกันได้นะคะ เพราะว่าเรายังเหลือเวลาอยู่
เรียนสอบถามอาจารย์ครับ
ค่ะ
ครับjournal ที่ถูก retraction นะครับ อัน
ค่ะ
นี้เราจะสามารถเช็คผ่านลิงก์ที่อาจารย์นำเสนอนี่เราต้องเช็คในลิงก์นี้ลิงก์เดียวหรือว่าเราหาได้ยังไงบ้างอะครับ
เช็คได้ในลิงก์นี้ค่ะอาจารย์ แล้วมันก็จะมีการอัปเดตขึ้นมาเรื่อยๆ อย่างชื่อ journal เนี่ยก็จะมีคน notify ช่วยกันอัปเดตขึ้นมาเรื่อยๆเรื่อยๆ แล้วในลิสต์ที่อาจารย์เห็นเมื่อกี้ที่มันเป็น Excel ไฟล์ค่ะ มันจะขยายใหญ่ขึ้น หมายความว่ามันจะมีรายการเยอะขึ้น แล้วก็ในส่วนของ retract ที่เมื่อกี้ที่ลองเซิร์ชของ Thailand เนาะ เดี๋ยวลองให้อาจารย์ดูอีกทีหนึ่งที่เพิ่งเซิร์ชเมื่อกี้เลยอุ๊ยสักครู่นะคะ อันนี้ที่เมื่อกี้เลยนะคะ เราก็จะเห็นคล้ายๆกันเนาะ ก็จะมีคำว่า Thailand ที่เราลองเซิร์ชตรงนี้ retract journal อันนี้เราจะเห็นทีมใหม่แล้วนะคะ จากเมื่อกี้ที่เราลองเซิร์ชคือวันที่7 พฤษภา ก็จะเห็นตรงนี้ได้เลยค่ะ เดี๋ยวตัวสไลด์เดี๋ยวจะแชร์ให้ทางน้องเจ้าหน้าที่อีกทีหนึ่งแล้วน้องเจ้าหน้าที่น่าจะส่งให้แต่ละท่านนะคะ
ก็คือเราดูตรงเว็บไซต์นี้ที่เดียวเลยใช่ไหมฮะ
ณตอนนี้นะคะอาจารย์เพราะว่าถ้าหากว่าเราไปดูเว็บไซต์อื่น มันเหมือนมันไม่มีการ validate ข้อมูลด้วยกัน มันจะกลายเป็นว่าเป็นข้อมูลที่ไม่ถูกต้องแล้วก็เป็นการทำร้ายกันเปล่าๆ แต่ตอนของ retract database ตรงเนี้ยมันเป็นเว็บไซต์ที่คนเริ่มมาเรื่อยแล้วก็มีนักวิจัยจากหลากหลายที่อะค่ะที่มา brainstorm ด้วยกัน แล้วก็มีหลาย parameter ที่เข้ามาร่วมด้วยช่วยกันเช็ค ถ้าไปเช็คอันอื่นที่มันไม่ accredit อะค่ะ เราก็จะเสียกำลังใจเปล่าๆ หรือว่าทำอะไรที่ผิดพลาดไปเปล่าๆ
ครับ ขอบพระคุณอาจารย์มากครับ
ค่ะ
I also have the same question, and I'm supposed. The thing is, for example, if I have like my source of literatures review, for example, from Vacancy or from maybe also from ResearchGate, and I like to verify my source. So the thing is, I'm just like put on the link into that website and to kind of like recheck that is accredited. Is that correct?
Yes, it should be better because somehow you have arrived with some questions. It doesn't mean that multidisciplinary will come with not a good work. If you arrive with some uncertainties, you better use some kind of like a retake watch list here to make your confidence. If you are interesting journals, is it a red flag area or not? So it will be help you and guarantee the sustainability of your publications. That's why I recommend not just only accredited database, but also consult with a retake watch list like this as well.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome ค่ะ
One more question for me. When you mentioned about keywords, is that
Uh-huh.
related to the variables that I'm going to study? When in
Right.
the beginning of the slide, we are talking about this correction and maybe be focusing on finding the keywords that I'm interested or we are interested. Is that going to related to the variables of when we actually forming the hypothesis work? Is that related?
Yeah, it should be because but would you like to keep in mind that the keyword is supposed to be in a short word, right? It's not like a phrase like that. And you comes right with some idea. For example, that I have been exemplified like I'm working in a cosmetics science, cosmetic sales field, and I'm turned to be interested in the nanoparticles. For example, if I use the nanoparticles like index, nanoparticles turn to be several system of nanoparticles, but I shape up my index or my keyword into solid lipid nanoparticle, for example. It turned to be far more efficient of index or keyword that can help you to direct to the right one of literatures that already published. And then you're gonna get far more or high relate one of the work that you can read it, take your time, read it deeply. So crafting the index or crafting a keyword turn to be like a first step to find or to gather those of the literatures that relevant on what of your interesting topics, and it can be at the same time not just only guide you to the source of a literature works, but also guide you in terms of your own self keyword that you're going to craft for your manuscript, right? Some may be a output or a numbers of a searching turn to be in a two field. Two field mean maybe not pretty much work has been done in this field, right? So you can also use that keyword, add your own keyword onto your manuscript as well. So we can take it like not just only for searching, but also drafting our manuscript as well.
Thank you once again. Thank you so much.
ค่ะ I will share the slide through the administration staff, and in the slide that they're gonna share with all of the audience, it will be imprint with my email. In case there might be some point that I missed to tell you, or I just forget to tell you, or I don't tell you properly as you expect, you can also communicate with me through that emails as well. เดี๋ยวตัวสไลด์จะฝากให้น้องแอดมินนะคะ แล้วเดี๋ยวน้องแอดมินจะแชร์ให้สำหรับผู้ฟังทุกท่าน ในสไลด์นั้นจะมีอีเมลเอาไว้ด้วยเผื่อมีบางส่วนที่นัทยาเองพูดไม่หมดหมายความว่าด้วยเวลาด้วยหรือว่าลืมพูดด้วย หรือว่าเล่าให้ฟังอาจจะไม่ได้ตรงทั้งหมดจากที่ผู้ฟังต้องการอยากทราบ ก็สามารถอีเมลมาแชร์หรือว่าสื่อสารกันทีหลังได้นะคะ มีคำถามอีกไหมเอ่ย Any questions or any issue that you would like to share with me? อืมวันนี้ขอโทษด้วยนะคะขลุกๆขักๆนิดนึงกับ Zoom ส่วนใหญ่ใช้ WebEx ก็เลยเงอะงะนิดนึง Sorry for my clumsy using Zoom because in general I use WebEx so I'm maybe not pretty much familiar with the sharing screen. Sorry, I'm an oldie one.
โอเคค่ะ เดี๋ยวขอส่งต่อให้น้องออมแอมนะคะ
Thank you อาจารย์นัทยา very much นะคะ On this occasion a special thank to Associate Professor Dr. นัทยา เหล่าฤทธิ์ from School of Cosmetic Science. Your insight and expertise has been inestimable and ahead of the activity, and today I want to thank you for all of you for your participation. I hope this training will be helpful for your research writing. But before you leaving the training, please fill out the satisfaction assessment form that we send in the chat box. And thank you all of you again. We looking forward to see you at the future event and have a great day.
ขอบคุณค่ะ
ค่ะ